Welcome back to another video. It's a Bradford City v Stockport County match preview. Let me know your score predictions and your starting 11 in the comments down below. I'll tell you mine in a bit. I'm not going to go straight into the results. I just want to talk about the game potentially getting called off. Hopefully it doesn't. We've had about 3 in the last month and a half. We had Rochdale called off. We had Gillingham called off. Carlisle just got called off. Stockport they lost to Walsall in the third round of the FA Cup. So we couldn't play Stockport then. That's why it's been rescheduled to this date. And then we can't play Walsall this Saturday because they beat Stockport, so they play on that Saturday. I don't know if we could play Carlisle on that Saturday and maybe reschedule it in then, or whether it's too short notice, or whether they're still in the cup. I'm not sure. But obviously it's a bit annoying that we haven't played a lot of games, and because of their recent results, that is why. They got a brilliant win against Northampton 2-0. I know Northampton are one of the least informed teams in the league. That's why we're still 6 points behind them. But it's still a very good win for them. A 2-1 defeat, like I said, to Walsall in the FA Cup, which means we can't play Walsall on the 4th. Because they're in the 4th round, we can't play them on the 28th. Then the loss to Grimsby 1-0, but then it's win-win-win from there. They beat Walsall 2-0, they beat Crewe 2-0, and they beat Charlton 3-1 in the FA Cup second round, which is another big win for them. It's first v 12th in terms of the form, in the last 5 games. They're the most informed team in the league, and over the last 10 games, the right update, the league table doesn't show how good they've been really in the last few weeks. I think the 10th, 11th, 12th, the mid-table, maybe a bit higher mid-table, but yeah, they started the season that poorly, but it sort of took a hit for their good form, but they can't break in to that top 7, but they would go level on points with us if they beat us tomorrow night, so touch wood that don't happen. But when you look at our results and our form, obviously the results don't change from the last preview because we couldn't get the game on against Carlisle. A 0-0 draw against Wimbledon, a 2-1 defeat to Rochdale, 3-2 win against Salford, 1-0 win against Harrogate, 1-0 defeat to Carlisle, and a 3-0 defeat to Orient. We've had that many games off that Leyton Orient is still in our last 5 fixtures. But yeah, I mean, their form is fantastic, I must say. 1 goal conceded in 5, 9 league wins since the reserve fixture back in September. That were 13 games ago. They've lost 3 in that spell. So they've gone on a really good winning run, and they look really strong. And I thought after that game that they beat us in September, I thought they'd probably go on and kick on now because, they have a strong squad, they have a good team, and, they look good. And they've got that momentum, and it's carried them into this good form that they're playing now. So our form, I don't want to talk about it, but we're going to have to. Our last 5 games, we've gained 7 points from them. 2 wins in 7, 8 in all competitions, 3 wins in our last 15. That's in all competitions as well, and then 4 wins in our last 17, which really is sackable. For any other manager, say we had a Mark Truman, for example, just put that name there. If we had a Mark Truman as manager, he wouldn't be here now. Maybe if it's just because of Mark Hughes, but I do feel like, because it is Mark Hughes, we should stick with him as well. He's got the experience, and we're not doing too bad. I mean, we've brought in some new players in January. They need to bed in. I think he's recognised where we need to improve. We need more leadership, and he's gone and got more leadership. And I do feel like results will come, but it might be after February and March. But you look at the games we've got in March. We've got some very winnable games in there. We've got to win all the games in March. We've got some very tough games coming up. Our next 6, we've got teams like Stevenage to play, Stockport, Carlisle still to play, Mansfield coming up, Tranmere. I think we've got some teams, big 6-pointers, and we've got to get maximum points. If not, we've got to go on a run now. And I said that last season. We need to go on a run. We all said it last season. We didn't. We've said it this season. We haven't had a run yet of games where we've gone on a good winning run. And that's what we're waiting for. And it'll be a brilliant time to kick on now. Mark Hughes' teams tend to end the season well, so hopefully that comes to play now. We played 16 games since the reserve fixture, lost 8, won 4 and drew. for, which ain't good enough. 13 goals scored, 21 goals conceded. But the only thing we have got going for us is that they're the 10th best home team in the league, which isn't the best. We're worse at home. But we are the 4th best away team in the league, so we are decent away from home, and hopefully we can get a massive win tomorrow night. On the head-to-heads, our first game, which no one really cares about, do we? I don't think anyone attended it. Let me know if you did. I mean, I don't think you'd be on YouTube, but it was the 12th of December 1903, so it was our first season as a football club. It was a fantastic, spectacular game of a 0-0. We've lost 2 in 7 against them. In our last 5 games against them, we've won 1, drew 2 and lost 2. In our all-time form, we've played 113 games against them, won 36, drawn 27 and lost 50. So really, I think that's one of the most games we've played against someone in our history against most of the teams in this league. So quite a rich history against them. My team would be, let me know what your team is in the comments down below. I'd go Lewis in goal. Obviously, I don't think we're going to change that. I would say he's Championship standard, and he's still young, so I'd definitely go Lewis in goal, obviously. Halliday in right back, Steady Eddie. We could do with a more attacking right back, but I'm not greedy. I'll take Halliday as a decent option. Platt and Critchlow at centre back. Platt's hit a bit of dodgy form. He hasn't been as good as he started off. Since Critchlow got his injury and come back, he hasn't been quite the same. But he's still a steady Eddie and he's decent. And Critchlow's one of the best centre backs in the league. And he proves it nearly every game. He's fantastic. It's a shame he's on loan again. Bowler in left back. I think he'll make his debut. Obviously, the left back we need, an attacking one, and hopefully he can have a good debut and help out my left winger. Smallwood in CDM. I don't think we'll change Smallwood. If Clayton were to play, I think it would be opposed to Smallwood, and I don't think he'd come out the team. Maybe he'll come on from the bench. Gilead with Smallwood, I think he'll probably try and stick with Gilead in the team as much as possible. He's a player who can carry the ball forward, and help us on the attacks and give us a bit of legs in there. And he's got a bit of tenacity about him, whereas I don't think the other two would. Chapman in the number 10. Walker's obviously still suspended, and I do like Chapman. He doesn't have the end product, but I think he's a good technical footballer. So I'd definitely start him. Costello on the right, he's inverted winger, he's left footed. I think it makes sense to play him. And hopefully he has a better second debut than his first. Thierry Nevers on the left, again inverted winger, and he's come off. Has he come off the bench twice now? Wimbledon and Rochdale. He's looked decent in those games. He's looked to show a bit of strength, and he looks to take on a player. So hopefully he can have a good game if he starts. And then Oliver or Cook up top. I'm going with Oliver, but let me know your teams in the comments down below. I think Oliver just gives us a bit more in the general game, but it doesn't mean I'm against Cook playing. So that's my team. Let me know yours, obviously, in the comments down below. One possibility Mark Hughes could change that team for is a 3-5-2. Now, I've been thinking about it. Why would he really bring Clayton in? He could play Smallwood Clayton in a 3-5-2, try and get Odesina in. He obviously hasn't gone out on loan yet, which I thought was surprising. I would have thought he would have gone sooner, Odesina. But I think that's the only way Odesina can fit in the team. And Bowler's a very attacking left back. He's a wing back, so maybe that'll get him more involved, and maybe that's why he's held the 3-5-2 back a bit and thought, well, Folter can't play that well, I'll get in someone who can. He could have played Gilead there, but then he might think, well, I could play Sutton and Gilead as a right winger, as a right wing back, and then Smallwood and Clayton, and maybe Chapman in the 10, Costello and Oliver up top. It's a possibility. I don't think it will happen, but that is an avenue Mark Hughes could look to go down for the next few games. So let me know your team in the comments down below. Let me know your score predictions. I'm going to go 1-0. I think, you know what, I'm going to go with Gilead to score. I don't know why, but he probably won't play. But I don't know, he might get a goal today, tomorrow. Let me know your score predictions in the comments down below. And hopefully City get a massive win and try and propel us up that league table and put a bit of pressure on the top three. Have a good one.